Are you a garage door company and received this email from Google? If you did, you're going to want to watch this video because I'm going to break down some of my concerns, what you need to know about this letter, and what changes you need to make. And is this even going to stop the scams? So I'm going to read a portion of this that really matters to you as a home service business owner, and then we'll break it down. In October 2025, which I think it's October 28th, Google will be updating the Google Ads misrepresentation policy concerning dishonest pricing practices to ensure greater transparency and prevent user deception. The following will be updated. Now, the first two are the ones that we need to pay attention to the most, which are going to be right here. Advertisers must clearly and conspicuously disclose the payment model, which would be like deposit and final payment, or full expense that a user will bear before and after purchase. So sounds like we're going to have to update our website with how we're going to charge and what that looks like. Maybe even add pricing. Google's always loved pricing on websites. And I think they've seen that because we've seen that. Because when you add pricing to websites, your pages that you add pricing to rank better. Number two, which is going to be, sorry, this one right here. Pricing practices that create a false or misleading impression of the cost of product or service, leading to inflated or unexpected charges, are prohibited. This includes, but is not limited to, bait and switch tactics, deceptively advertising a product or service at an enticing, often unrealistic, low price to lure customers with no genuine intent to sell it, only to pressure them into buying a different, typically more expensive or inferior alternative once they've engaged. Okay, so that's kind of like a sub of the main topic right here. Price exploitation. Exploiting individuals in vulnerable situations or under duress, leveraging their immediate need or lack of reasonable alternatives to demand a payment significantly higher than the prevailing market rate. This is important. For example, a locksmith threatening to leave a customer unless a cost above what was quoted is paid on the spot. Now, that's a little bit contradictory to what they said previously. I have some concerns about Google determining what a prevailing market rate is, because I'm not even sure I know what prevailing market rate is. And I'm a business owner in the garage door industry. So I don't price shop. I base my pricing off of, I try to keep my expenses as low as humanly possible. And we take into consideration the cost of labor, the cost of material, our time, all of these things. And we invest a lot into our systems and processes to deliver an amazing experience. And so I'm assuming, I know because we hear it from some of our people in the field, that we are on the higher end, but we're also delivering experience that our customers love, which is why we have like 3,000 five-star reviews and very few bad reviews. So there's a need for a home service company who invest in their operations in a way that helps them grow and build trust with clientele who cares about convenience and communication and follow through and qualified technicians and all these things. So I do have some concerns about some of the verbiage that I see there because it's a little bit gray. All right, so let's break down the first topic. Advertisers must clearly and conspicuously disclose the payment model or full expense that a user will bear before and after purchase. So we're talking about Google Ads in this situation. So I imagine in the ads, we obviously can't disclose the details, but if they click on the ad, I'm assuming they're going to want us to disclose on the landing page that we choose to have that ad go to the payment model, which would, in my opinion, I'm reading that as like a deposit and full payment upon completion. Before, we install, we take a deposit, and then after we expect full payment upon completion. Any of the terms of that probably need to be added to your landing pages before October 28th, I think is the date. And then expenses that a user will bear before and after purchase. Now, this is going to be really difficult on repairs. And like we just know for a fact that when you add pricing to websites, they rank better. So I think they've always wanted pricing on websites. but this is specific to Google Ads. And you can't diagnose doors over the phone. So that presents maybe a little bit of challenge. I'm sure they've got some answers for this, but there's not a ton of clarity online yet. So I hope to chat with some people that are part of building this policy and seeing if I can get some clarity. Now, the second one, pricing practices that create a false or misleading impression of the cost of a product or service, leading to inflated or unexpected charges, are prohibited. This includes, but is not limited to, bait and switch tactics. Okay, so this is also a small concern of mine. Not that it's major, but let's just say realistically, someone calls in, they say, "Hey, I've got a repair. I need the technician out." You send out a technician, and a technician is there. They diagnose the door, and then they offer multiple options, right? This is not bait and switch. Like my company has a practice where we don't assume how buyers shop. We always want to offer multiple options. Some people care about longer warranty, some people don't. Some people care about longer lasting things where they don't want us back, some people don't. We do not assume. We build out options for every type of shopper, every type of budget. And if you just want what's broke fixed today, then that is certainly exactly what we will do. However, people will sometimes call that bait and switch. If we walk into a garage and then we give a quote for like three different things, with the cheapest thing being exactly what was broken, like let's say a spring change, and then maybe we offer a whole spring system replacement. And then the last one, we have like a quiet performance package, which includes a bunch of different things. And you'd be surprised, people choose it. And they love it. Like we've never had one complaint of anyone who's bought that package, not one. And we've been selling it for years. But I could see how, like, if somebody says, "Hey, I got a broken spring," and we come out and we offer options, they could feel like a very defensive person would be like, "Hey, why are you offering me these other things? I just want fixed what's broken." And so some people have different viewpoints on that. I look at it as we're offering options to create a better experience and give you a choice. You don't have to choose any of them. Totally up to you. We are not pressuring anybody. So I want to make sure very clearly that Google, I don't know how they're going to monitor this. They say AI is going to monitor kind of like the whole program, but how are they going to know when you get into a garage that you're doing bait and switch tactics? So this is something that we've got to figure out. Um, let's see. Okay, next one. I think I covered that pretty well. Price exploitation. Exploiting individuals in vulnerable situations or under duress. This is the one that I think is probably the biggest deal. Leveraging their immediate need or lack of reasonable alternatives to demand a payment significantly higher than the prevailing market rate. For example, a locksmith threatening to leave the customer unless a cost above what was quoted is paid on the spot. So, first of all, I don't know how they're gonna figure that out. Like, how are they gonna know that someone goes, like a locksmith goes to a home or someone's car and will not let them, like, will not give them the service unless they pay a massive rate, taking advantage of somebody who desperately needs to get in their car. So we already know this is happening in locksmith, garage doors, and other industries, which is a huge problem. But I don't know how they're going to monitor this, especially with AI. Like these things are happening offline. So it's going to be very difficult to figure this out. But the underlying problem is we have a massive spam issue. We have a massive problem with all these spam companies that are advertising on Google. And my question to Google is, like, you built local service ads specifically to get these bad companies out of Google Ads, yet they penetrate LSA and they're all in local service ads. They penetrate Google Ads and they're all in Google Ads. Yet, like I try to get LSA for brick and mortar locations, and I'm turned down after sending in the same documents that they requested 10 times. I'm still turned down. Pictures, photos, lease agreements, business licenses, everything's legit. Videos, photos. I mean, I'm talking everything's legit. I still get turned down Yet I look at LSA and I see scam companies that don't even have a real location. And my question to you is, Google, why not just get rid of the bad companies who are scamming customers and taking advantage of them instead of trying to cater to them a little bit and tell them to change their business practices? They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. Like, they don't care. And the reason they don't care is because once you like take them out and you suspend their account, they're just going to spin up another one, just like they do in Google Business Profile. So, like, you let them into Google Business Profile, you let them into Google AdWords, you let them into local service ads. So why are we like sending this out to everyone when it's like, you got one guy in the company who's stealing? Why are you going to stand up and give everybody in the company a whole presentation on theft? I mean, maybe it's proactive. I don't know. But like, why don't you just deal with the companies who are doing this? There's like a handful of them that I know, and it's very easy to find them. Like, take a quick breeze for 1 second, just go city by city. You will find them quickly and easily. Remove those companies, and then from there, you're good. And all you have to do is really call the number. And when they pick up the phone and they say garage doors, and you ask them what their company name is, and they can't tell you, delete, take them out. Like, this just feels like, hey, we don't mind taking the money of the bad companies as long as too many people don't get taken advantage of. So we're going to put in this little policy that like helps us with this. Really? Like, this is the bigger problem, because I can go ahead and tell you firsthand, I know legitimate businesses are going to be punished for this, and it's not going to be because they do deceptive practices or they have shady pricing or they have shady practices. It's just not going to be for any of that. It's just going to be because your AI made a mistake for whatever reason, and here we are, which is the same reason why we have trouble in every other product that you offer. So, for that reason, listen, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And I appreciate the effort that Google's trying to put in here, but I think we're trying to work on something like a doctor's diagnosing a problem, and he's focused so much on the symptom but not the actual problem, right? We've got to deal with the problem. We're kind of catering to a situation that is going to affect thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of local businesses for a very small percentage of scam companies. And we just need to deal with the scam companies the right way. And it's probably going to be a lot less effort than what you guys are doing now. If you agree or disagree or have questions or comments, I'd love to hear them. Post them below.